goody Jello pudding tonight. It tastes like Grandma's honey morsel.
You ain't kidding, that's right. And just as Jello's 6 delicious locked-in flavors can't be beaten, so the proof of Jello pudding's in the eating.
The Jello twins are hard to find, but keep on looking in your store. When sugar shortages are over, there'll be more.
Just a taste of Jello pudding or a Jello and you know it's the one and only Jello.
The makers of Maxwell House Coffee
and Bird's Eye Frosted Food
bring you a special full-hour program.
Starring George Burns and Gracie Allen,
Charles Boyer,
Francis Langford,
Robert Emmett Dolan,
Meredith Wilson,
Mel Blanc,
and those two brilliant stars of stage, screen, radio, and television, Bill Goodwin
and Harry Von Zell.
Yeah! For your listening pleasure, we invite you to enjoy the fun of George and Gracie, the romantic charm of Charles Boyer, and the songs of Francis Langford. And for your eating pleasure, we invite you to enjoy Bird's Eye Frosted Foods, the only frosted foods that give you Bird's Eye top quality. Bird's Eye fresh from the garden flavor.
And for your coffee drinking pleasure, of course, it's Maxwell House. That skillful blend of choice Latin American coffees that's bought and enjoyed by more people than any other brand of coffee in the world.
With our own Dinah Shore still a victim of laryngitis, here is the star who is so graciously pinch-hitting for her, the lovely and lyrical Francis Langford.
You belong to my heart now and forever, and our love had its start not long ago. We were gathering stars while a million guitars played our love song. When you said I love you, every beat of my heart said it too. 'Twas a moment like this, do you remember? And your eyes threw a kiss when they met mine. Now we own all the stars and a million guitars are still playing. Darling, you are the song and you'll always belong to my heart. Solamente una vez, amén la vida. Solamente una vez. And you'll always belong to my
That was beautiful, and it was so sweet of you to sing for Dinah this way.
It's a pleasure to do it, Gracie. By the way, how is Dinah?
Oh, much better, Francis. She'll be back next week, completely recovered from her laryngitis. As a matter of fact, she wanted to be in our play tonight and do a love scene with Charles Boyer.
She wanted to do a love scene with Charles Boyer when she has laryngitis?
Well, sure, she only lost her voice, not her mind.
I see what you mean. But tell me more about this play you're going to do tonight.
Oh, well, my club, the Beverly Hills Uplift Society, has given it. And the play is called The Folly of Molly O'Malley. And I play Molly.
And just what is her folly?
She runs away with Charles Boyer. Some folly, huh?
Lucky you, Gracie. I wish I were playing Molly.
Oh, you wouldn't enjoy it, Francis. After all, you're married to John Hall. He's quite a hunk of man.
Well, you're married to George Burns. He's quite a hunk of... I guess you're the one for the part after all.
Thank you, Francis.
You were certainly lucky to get a leading man like Charles Boyer.
Oh, yes. Isn't he wonderful? You know, I don't see how we can say that France owes us $4 billion when they send us collateral like that.
I agree, Gracie.
Yeah. Every time he looks at me, he knocks $1 million off that debt. You know, I had a dream about him last night.
Really?
Mm-hmm. When I woke up, we owed France $4 billion.
Well, how did you happen to dream about Boyer, Gracie?
Well, you see, as George and I were getting ready for bed last night, we were discussing the play. And naturally, I was excited about playing opposite Mr. Boyer, so I couldn't go to sleep. And finally, George...
Gracie, will you please turn out the light and go to sleep? You've done nothing but talk about that play you're going to do tomorrow with Boyer.
Well, any actress would do the same, George. When an actress plays opposite Boyer, it's the peak of her career. The biggest thing she'll ever do. It's like a dancer dancing with Fred Astaire. Or a masseuse massaging Sidney Greenstreet.
All right, so he's a fine actor. But what's the personal appeal?
Well, now, in the first place, he's a Frenchman, and there's something about Frenchmen that's different from other men. They're so French.
Hey, you couldn't say that about a Swede.
No.
Now go to sleep, Gracie.
Yes, dear. Charles Boyer. Tomorrow I'll be made love to by the master. I feel just like a drum that sees Gene Krupa reaching for it.
Well, I guess I better take a blanket and go in the living room. I guess you're sorry you married me.
Oh, darling, have I said anything to hurt you? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, but I didn't mean it, darling.
Oh, doesn't matter. Forget it.
Oh, I wish I could just cut my tongue out. Forgive me, sweetheart.
Oh, forget it. It's nothing. Let's go to sleep.
Oh, believe me, George, you've got something Charles Boyer hasn't got.
Okay, go to sleep.
I can't now. I'll be awake all night trying to think what it is.
Gracie, if you don't stop talking about Charles Boyer, you're going to dream about him. Now go to sleep.
Oh, yes, dear. But I want you to know that your name is the only one that really stays in my mind. The only man I could ever dream about is my husband, George Boyer. Yeah, Charlie Burns.
Charlie Burns, yes, I got a new name. Good night, dear, and call me Spunky.
Good night, dear.
Oh, good morning, my darling wife.
Well, good morning, George.
Why are you staring at me, Gracie?
Well, you look so cute this morning.
I do?
Yes. In fact, better than you did when I married you.
Oh, what an adorable child you are. Come, let me give you a great big kiss.
Do that again, George.
Most gladly.
You are George, aren't you?
But of course, my beloved. And to prove it, here is another great big kiss.
George, do you have any identification on you?
What's come over you, Gracie? You've never been this way before.
Neither of you.
Oh. My little one is upset. Now sit down, and I will bring you your breakfast.
You'll bring me my breakfast?
Yes, to wait on you is my greatest joy. The one thing that makes me happy.
You must have been miserable for years.
With you? Never. Now, after breakfast, I will wash the dishes, and you will go shopping.
What a change has come over you.
Here's $1,000 to spend.
$1,000?
Make it 2,000.
Oh, this isn't a change. This is reconversion.
It's a pleasure to do things for you, my dear. You are so beautiful.
Oh, George.
So alluring.
Oh, George.
So young.
Oh, George.
So irresistible.
Oh, George. Oh, George. Oh, George. Oh, George.
Huh? What's the matter?
Oh, George.
What happened, Gracie?
Oh, I had a dream, George. A dream in which you looked just like Charles Boyer. It was terrible.
It was?
Yeah, it was so short.
A fine thing. My wife dreaming about a man.
Yes, I am ashamed. I don't want to dream about a man. I want to dream about you.
Go to sleep. Gracie, what's the matter with you? You haven't touched your breakfast.
Oh, I can't eat it, George. It's too much like Charles Boyer.
Your breakfast is like Boyer?
Yes, now take that grapefruit, for instance. It reminds me of his high, intelligent forehead.
Oh, sure.
And those wonderful eyes of his. I think of them whenever I look at those 2 fried eggs.
I suppose even the coffee reminds you of Boyer.
There's steam coming from it.
Oh, well, stop mooning about the guy. Remember, I'm in this play of yours, too.
Oh, of course you are, darling. And it's a very important part. After all, you're the Irish policeman who arrests the jewel thief.
You bet, Begorra.
Mm-hmm. And not only
That's
that...
Irish stuff.
Yeah, I know. Not only that, you hold Mr. Boyer's script during a love scene.
I hold a script.
Yes.
What does he hold?
Yeah.
By the way, why haven't we had any rehearsals for this play?
Well, Mr. Boyer has been out of
rehearsals,
time.
too.
Mm-hmm.
He's been out of town?
Mm-hmm.
Then how do you know he's even going to appear?
Oh, don't worry about that. We girls of the Beverly Hills Uplift Society made him an offer that no man in his right mind could refuse. I'll get it, dear.
Good morning, Mrs. Burns.
Oh, Mr. Postman, hello. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm simply bursting with health and happiness. But then May is always a happy month for me. You see, my wedding anniversary is in May.
Oh, and that makes you happy.
Oh, yes. I look at my wife and think, well, there's another year of that I won't have to go through again. Here's your mail, Mrs. Burns. Just one letter.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Oh, look. It's from Charles Boyer. Charles Boyer.
He really sends you, doesn't he?
Oh, I'll say he sends me, and what a delightful trip.
Oh, your whimsical expressions make me laugh.
This is probably Mr. Boyer's letter of acceptance.
Acceptance?
Yes, you see, the Beverly Hills Uplift Society is giving a play tonight, and we offered him the lead. We enclosed a check for every penny in our treasury. All the dues we've collected for the last 9 years.
My goodness, even Mr. Boyer should like that.
Oh, yes, let's see what he says. Beverly Hills Uplift Society, Mrs. Burns, President, dear Madam. Thank you for your generous offer, but I find it impossible to appear in your play. Therefore, I am returning your check for $3.80. Oh, Mr. Postman, this is awful.
I sympathize deeply, Mrs. Burns.
Well, what are we going to do? Our play goes on tonight, and we have no leading man.
I would offer to take Mr. Boyer's place, but I fear the audience would know the difference the moment I spoke.
Yes.
Yes. I have a gold tooth in front.
Oh, well, I guess you can't help me, Mr. Postman.
I'm afraid not. There would be actresses involved, and my wife is terribly jealous of actresses. Last week at the movies, she saw me smile at Greer Garson, and it cost me an extra 50 cents.
An extra 50 cents?
We were in the balcony, and she threw me over the rail into an orchestra seat. Besides, I couldn't be in the play tonight. I'll be tied up at home.
Oh, I see.
It's my wife's night out, and she always ties me up before she leaves. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
Who was it, dear?
Oh, the postman, and he brought the most terrible news. Charles Boyer doesn't want to do our play.
No.
Poor man, he must have gone crazy. This play would have made him a big star.
Yes, he might have become better known than Sabu, the elephant boy.
Well, I'll just have to go around to all the girls in the Beverly Hills Uplift Society and collect a special assessment.
What for?
Well, so we can offer Mr. Boyer more money. I guess $3.80 was a ridiculous offer to make to a star like him.
I should say it was.
Oh, I'll bet he'll change his tune when we raise it to $5.
I don't know. That'll put him in a mighty high bracket.
You know, his prices certainly have come up since Germany surrendered.
Prices have come up?
I should say. During the war, he was free French. Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, dear. Come in.
Hi, George.
Oh, hello, Bill.
You know my friend Harry Von Zell.
Sure, hello, Harry.
Hello, George. Say, Bill and I just heard the news about Boyer not being on the show. Is it true?
I'm afraid it is, fellas.
Well, you got nothing to worry about, George. Harry and I will take over the whole program.
Just the two of you?
Yeah, well, certainly. We're going to pack a whole day in radio into that 1 hour, George. Yep. Serial, drama, comedy, quiz, everything.
Yeah, sit down at the piano, Harry. Let's show George how it'll go. First, a daytime serial. Presenting the story of Ma Von Zell. A lovable old lady who might live in the house right next to you, or the apartment next to you, or the way things are now, the tree next to you. When we last looked in on Ma Von Zell, she was having a wee mite of trouble. The flooded river was almost up to her windows, and the dampness caused twinges in her broken legs. Her cries for help were drowned out by the avalanche which was roaring down the mountain upon her home. Then, too, her arms ached from trying to defend herself from mean old Squire Perkins, who was beating her with her youngest son, Fred. But then, just when things looked darkest, Squire Perkins was forced to flee. The house caught on fire. Let's look in on Ma.
Son.
Yes, Ma?
It's getting kind of warm in here.
Yes, Ma.
Reckon it's 'cause the house is a-burning?
I reckon, Ma.
Son.
Yes, Ma.
I'm scared.
Why, Ma?
I'm scared the fire will defrost my bird's eye frosted food.
Now, wait a minute, you guys. What kind of a program is that?
Well, gosh, George, didn't that break your heart? Wouldn't it be terrible if Ma's bird's eye frosted foods would be burned up? Why, bird's eye is the top quality frosted food, the better buy in frosted foods. That's why you should always make sure that each and every package of frosted foods you buy says bird's eye clear as anything on the label. There are many brands of frosted foods, you know, but there's only one bird's eye.
You tell him, Ma.
I will, son. And only bird's eye gives you bird's eye top quality and garden fresh flavor all the time. For every bird's eye food is grown, cared for, and prepared, really babied along every step of the way so that it comes to you perfect. So honestly, if you want the better buy in frosted foods, insist on the name bird's eye on the package.
Now, look, you two, there'll be no daytime cereals.
Well, now we come to the quiz program.
Yeah.
Hello, folks. This is your affable quiz master, Dr. I.Q. Goodwin. And here's our first contestant. Well, you're a fine, bright, intelligent-looking young man. What's your name, sir?
I can't think of it right now.
Too bad. But you tried hard, so here's $15,000. Now for $30,000, we'll play Who Am I?
Yeah.
I was born in Italy, a favorite of Queen Isabella, and I discovered America in 1492. Who am I?
Winston Churchill?
Well, that's close enough. Here's your 30,000.
Now, just a minute.
No coaching from the audience, please. Now, here's the next one. I am a famous actor and a member of the royal family of the theater. My sister's name is Ethel, and I portray Dr. Gillespie on the screen. Who am I?
Winston Churchill?
No, I'll give you a little hint. Are you fond of peaches, or do you like berries more?
Oh, I got it. Henry Fonda.
No. The first name is Lionel.
Oh, sure, Lionel Fonda.
That's close enough. You have just won a home in Beverly Hills. Would you care to try for a swimming pool? All right, here we go. Pay attention now. I am a movie actress, the star of the picture Ecstasy, and considered one of the most beautiful women on the screen. I have raven black hair, gorgeous green eyes, a divine figure, skin like rose petals, and beautiful, luscious red lips. Who am I?
Who cares? Kiss me.
Well, that isn't the right answer, I'm sorry. But you were very sincere, so I award you the city of Fresno, California.
All right, boys. That's enough.
Just, I haven't come to the grand prize yet.
You got a bigger prize than the city of Fresno?
Well, sure. If he answers the giant jackpot question, he gets a cup of Maxwell House coffee.
Oh, yes. Goes better with donuts than Fresno.
Maxwell House is appetizing, rich, full-bodied, and mellow coffee at its full-flavored best. Good to the last drop. What could be more delicious?
Yeah, Winston Churchill?
This time you're not even close. There's nothing to compare with Maxwell House. Why, more people buy and enjoy Maxwell House than any other brand of coffee in the world.
Well, so much for the quiz. Now comes our singing act.
The singing act, yeah.
Now, look, boys.
Hello, hello.
Boys, out.
Hello, hello.
Goodbye. Now, here's Francis Langford singing, Oh, What It Seemed to Be.
It was just a neighborhood dance, that's all that it was. But oh, what it seemed to be. It was like a masquerade ball with costumes and all, 'cause you were at the dance with me. It was just a ride on a train, that's all that it was. But oh, what it seemed to be. It was like a trip to the stars, to Venus and Mars, 'cause you were on the train with me. And when I kissed you, darling, it was more than just a thrill for me. It was the promise, darling, of the things that fate had willed for me. It was just a wedding in June, that's all that it was. But oh, what it seemed to be. It was like a royal affair with everyone there, 'cause you said, yes, I do to me. That's all that it was, but oh, what it seemed to be.
so soon, Gracie? Did you collect your assessment from the Beverly Hills Uplift
Oh,
Society?
no, not one single club member was home. They're all out getting beauty treatments so they look pretty for Charles Boyer.
Without the assessment, you've got no Boyer.
Oh, what are we going to do? Where is there another man living who has the appeal and charm and romance of Charles Boyer? Someone who could hold and handle a part of a Frenchman.
Every little breeze seems to whisper Louis.
Who can I get? Who?
Bonsoir, madame. Mon ami.
There must be someone who can act.
For France I have lived. Now for France I die.
George, I'm trying to think of an actor. If you don't feel well, go lie down.
I was showing you how charming.
Oh, come in.
Good morning, all. Lovely morning, isn't it?
Oh, no, Meredith, it's a terrible morning. Charles Boyer won't appear in our play, and we have no leading man.
Oh, come now, Gracie. Chin up. Fortunately, you have a most capable actor who can step right into the breach.
That's what I've been trying to tell her.
Oh, did you suggest me, too?
You?
Well, have you had dramatic experience, Meredith?
Oh, yes, indeed, Gracie. While attending high school in Mason City, Iowa, I took part in a very successful pageant entitled Fertile Iowa, the Land of Crops.
The land of crops, you don't say.
What part did you take?
A large group of fellows appeared as ears of corn. I was the fourth cob from the left.
Well, did the ears of corn have any lines to say?
No, we merely stood there until the east wind, played by Miss Tupper, our physics teacher, came and blew through us.
Then you weren't exactly the star of the show.
No, but the following year, the pageant was repeated, and I won the coveted role of the spirit of insecticide.
There's nothing this boy can't do.
As I came upon the stage, I beheld a sow bug, portrayed by Lavinia Burrows, a president of the sophomore class, gnawing upon the roots of a cabbage, which was in reality her brother Walter. That was a very tense moment.
Oh, yes, it must have been frightening.
In ringing tones, I proclaimed, "Sow bug, you shall never ravage Iowa's tender heads of cabbage." Then I breathed upon Lavinia, and she toppled over in agony.
She must have felt good compared to the audience.
Unfortunately, in an effort to achieve realism, I had swallowed a bottle of citronella before the performance. When I breathed upon Lavinia, the sow bug, her brother Walter, the cabbage, also toppled over.
Oh, that was too bad.
Yes. I fear I caused the sale of insecticide to fall off sharply. Will there be a part for me in the play?
Well, I'm afraid there isn't one that fits your talent.
Well, if you find one, don't hesitate to call on me. Goodbye, all.
Yes, Sawbug.
He is undoubtedly one of the nicest men who's ever lived.
I'm not so sure he's ever lived.
George, I've decided there's no use trying to replace Charles Boyer. He's the one and only, and I'll just have to get him for our play.
Well, how are you going to do it?
Well, I'll go to his house and appeal to him as a man. Still, I might get further if I appeal to him as a woman, huh?
Could be, yes.
Oh, I know. I'll offer him that stock you bought in the Mad Gopher Gold Mine.
That stock is worthless.
No. And to think you bought 1,000 shares. $2 shot to blazes.
Yeah, I'm a plunger.
George, help me think of something that might persuade Mr. Boyer. What's closest to his heart?
Well, you know he sponsors the French Foundation.
No, really? To look at him, you'd never know he wore one.
Gracie, that's where they put books. They keep hundreds of research books in the French Foundation.
Oh, it must have more stretch than our American kind.
Look, Gracie.
I'll buy a dozen from him. 6 for you and 6 for me.
Gracie, let me explain about the French Foundation.
Stay tuned in, ladies and gentlemen. This special hour program will continue immediately after a pause for station identification. This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
From Hollywood, we continue now with this special full-hour program, brought to you by the makers of Maxwell House Coffee and Bird's Eye Frosted Foods.
And starring George Burns and Gracie Allen, Francis Langford, Charles Boyer, Robert Emmett Dolan, Meredith Wilson, Bill Goodwin, Mel Blanc, and yours truly, Harry Von Zell.
Now here's Meredith Wilson and Sierra Sue. Say, Meredith, that tune you're playing about Sierra Sue reminds me that this week the fishing season opens in those high Sierras.
Oh, don't I know it, Bill? But to tell you the truth, fishing in the Sierras for me is really just an excuse to take the trip and look at the view.
Well, Meredith, anybody can understand that who's ever been in those mountains. Anywhere you look, there's a wonderland of high, rugged, snow-capped peaks with glacier-scoured ridges or steep-walled canyons. And then those rushing, bubbling, crystal-clear streams, stocked with rainbow and red-spotted trout, are fisherman's heaven. It's no wonder the Sierras are such a well-loved part of the American scene. And, you know, I can't help thinking, too, how it's no wonder that Maxwell House Coffee has become so much a part of the American scene. Because for generations, Maxwell House has been giving millions of people real coffee-drinking pleasure. And today it's enjoyed by more people than any other brand of coffee. Now, to give Maxwell House that famous flavor, fine Latin American coffees are skillfully chosen, each for its own special contribution. Manizales for mellowness. Medellins for richness. Other choice Latin American coffees for vigor. And Bucaramangas for full body. The result is true flavor harmony in a cup of coffee. And whether it's served at home or in one of America's many fine restaurants who are about to celebrate National Restaurant Week, the nation's choice, north, east, south, and west, is Maxwell House. Always good to the last drop.
Now, back to Gracie, who was just arriving at Charles Boyer's house to try and persuade him to appear in her play.
Oh, dear, someone else is calling on Mr. Boyer, and I wanted to see him alone. Pardon me, are you the laundryman?
Yeah, I was at your house about 4 months ago.
Oh, yes. Is the laundry you picked up that day ready yet?
Nope, but we're plugging away at it.
Well, that's nice. If you're in a hurry, I'll be glad to give this bundle to Mr. Boyer.
Well, thanks, Mrs. Burns. I'll be seeing you around October.
Well, this is a break. Getting his laundry will put Mr. Boyer in a good humor. I wonder if I could sneak a pair of his shorts out of the bundle. They'd make such a nice pennant for our clubroom. No, I better not. I'll just ring and go on in.
Yes?
Oh, well, hello, Mr. Boyer.
Oh, hello. You are Mrs. Burns, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Here's your laundry.
Oh, thank you for bringing it in.
You're welcome. Now, let's talk about the play you're going to be in tonight.
Oh, Mrs. Burns, I explained in my letter I was not interested.
Oh, I know. You thought the money wasn't enough, but I've come to make another offer. I'll give you some very valuable stock that my husband bought.
Stock?
Yes, 1,000 shares in the Mad Gopher mine.
No, thank you. Even if they dug up any, I have no use for mad gophers.
No, it's a gold mine.
I still must refuse, really. I cannot appear in your play.
But, Mr. Boyer, the money from this play will all go to charity. You see, the Beverly Hills Uplift Society is raising money for unfortunate girls.
Oh? What unfortunate girls?
The girls of the Beverly Hills Uplift Society.
I still must refuse.
All right, then I'll appeal to you as a Frenchman. You should appear in the play tonight because a famous Frenchman will be in the audience.
Which famous Frenchman?
Leon Blum will be there.
Leon Blum is at present in Washington.
Oh. Well, General de Gaulle will be there.
General de Gaulle is in France.
Oh. Napoleon's dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And this attempt of yours is dying.
Oh. Well, I'll admit I made that up, but only because I'm so anxious to have you in the play. You're my very favorite movie actor.
Oh, I'm delighted, but not persuaded.
Oh, I even got a terrible cramp in my face on your account.
How did you get this cramp?
Sneering at Paul Henry in a cold balcony.
I am deeply touched.
Then you'll do the play?
No, but I will send you some liniment.
Oh, I know you'd adore the play if you just read it. It's called The Folly of Molly O'Malley.
And if I agreed to appear, it would be known as the finish of Charles Boyer.
Oh, but you'd love the part. You're Raoul, a romantic French jewel thief. Do you think you could play a Frenchman?
Well, with coaching, perhaps, but I still must refuse.
Oh, well, I did my best. I guess I'll be going along now. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Burns, and thank you for bringing in my laundry.
You're well. The laundry. Yes, the laundry.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope you like the way I washed your things.
What? The way you washed them?
Yes, I hope I didn't get too much starch in your socks.
Oh, but Mrs. Burns.
Oh, put too many pleats in your sheet.
But I don't understand. You mean you take in washing?
Yes, my husband makes me.
Oh, but how did you get my clothes? I send them to a laundry.
Oh, well, when I don't take in enough money from my regular customers, George sneaks bundles off laundry trucks for me to do.
This is incredible. The man must be a beast.
Oh, it's not his fault. He can't help himself. You see, he's money mad.
How terrible.
Yes, and that's why you must do this play with me tonight. And if I'm a success, I can go on the stage and escape the awful drudgery of the wash tub.
I see.
Honest, Mr. Boyer, I've got a great talent. Don't let it be caught in a ringer.
Oh, this really shocks me, Mrs. Burns. And how long has your husband been money mad?
Oh, I noticed it the very first night we were married.
No, not in your honeymoon.
Yes, he only rented one hotel room for the two of us.
Well, to me that seems quite reasonable.
Oh, well, I didn't mind the one room, but there was a lodge convention at the hotel, and George rented our sofa to a couple of elks.
You spent your honeymoon with elks?
Yeah, they were nice, but the moose who rented our bathtub was sort of noisy.
You poor child. Doesn't your husband realize that money is of no consequence? There is an old saying, who steals my purse, steals trash.
Well, I'm married to the biggest trash collector in town.
You know, I am stunned, Mrs. Burns. When I met your husband, he seemed such a nice little man. Not very attractive, but nice.
Mr. Boyer, say you'll be in the play with me so I won't have to take in washing anymore.
Don't worry, Mrs. Burns. I promise you'll never have to take in washing again.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Boyer.
You little louse.
Huh?
What do you do with all the money?
What money?
You know what money.
Don't shout at me.
Why not? Are you afraid I will wake up the elks on the sofa?
The elks on the sofa?
Or the moose in the bathroom?
Moose in the bathroom. Mr. Boyer, you've been drinking too much pink champagne. Sit down. Let me get you a cup of coffee.
Never mind that. Where is your wash tub, Burns?
My wash tub?
Yes. Where is it?
It's on the back porch, but...
Get out there. Fill it with water.
But I can't swim.
You will not swim. You will do my laundry.
Oh, no, I won't.
You will either do my laundry or I will thrash you within an inch of your worthless life. Take your choice.
Did you bring any soap? Look, Mr. Boyer, I've been washing your clothes for an hour now. Can't I stop?
Keep scrubbing, Burns.
But I've got dishpan hands up to my elbows.
Keep scrubbing, Burns.
Yes, sir. Gee, I've done enough laundry to last you a month. When can I quit?
When that shirt you're washing is snow white.
But it's a green shirt.
Keep scrubbing, Burns.
Yes, sir. Honest, I gotta stop. My hands hurt. My back aches. My feet are killing me. If I don't sit down, I'll collapse. Keep scrubbing, huh?
You're right.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hello, dear. Why, George, what on earth are you doing?
My laundry, Mrs. Burns. I'm teaching him a lesson.
Uh-oh.
Never make you take in washing again.
Huh? Who told you I made her take in washing?
Well, Mrs. Burns told me.
She did, huh? Well, I'm going to have a little talk with Mrs. Burns.
Good, I'll go see if I can find her.
Come back here. Now, tell the truth. Do I make you take in washing?
No, dear.
Oh, Mrs. Burns, you should be ashamed. That was a terrible lie.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't have time to think of a better one.
Oh, and I made your poor husband do my whole month's laundry. Oh, Mr. Burns, I owe you an apology. And about $6.
He'll iron it for another $5.
You stay out. What made you tell Mr. Boyer a thing like that?
Well, so he'd feel sorry for me and play the part of Raoul tonight.
Well, it didn't work. I still refuse.
Oh, but I need you, please.
What are you worried about, Gracie? I can play the part of Raoul.
You, Mr. Burns?
Oui. Charming Frenchman is right down my alley. Listen to this. Ah, bon ami, mon petit. Come with me and we will sip the champagne and then go to the Follies Burger.
Pardon me, this Follies Burger, is that a sandwich?
Oh, that's a French show. I'll throw another line at you, Charlie. Monsieur, you look très chic today. N'est-ce pas? Si Calais?
No, stop, please.
What's the matter, Chuck?
Mr. Burns, my country has been through a lot. Don't do this to her.
Well, Well, if you don't play the part, George will.
Well, then, for the sake of France, I hereby accept the part of Raoul.
Oh, divine. Or as you French say, divan. Well, George, you're the Irish policeman again.
Okay. Gee, Charlie, you didn't like my French accent, huh?
Oh, let's not say I didn't like it. Let us just say it revolted me.
Oh, don't try to thank him, Judge. We have to hurry right down to the studio. Everyone's waiting for us.
Gee, Francis, I don't know what could be keeping George and Gracie. They should be here by now.
I'm anxious to see the script of Gracie's play. I hope there's a part in it for me.
Oh, don't worry, Francis. I'll fix that. I've got a terrific love scene in mind for you.
Wonderful. Where will that come in the program?
Comes after the program.
Oh, I see. I'd heard that you were a big bad wolf, and it's almost true.
Almost?
Yes, you're big, and brother, are you bad?
Oh, come on, Francis. I'm good-looking, charming, talented, got a swell personality. Go out with me tonight.
No, Bill, you're too much in love with another person.
Me?
That's the person.
Oh, that's telling him, Francis.
Who asked you to listen in, Jumbo?
Never mind that, Dimples. I wasn't eavesdropping. I just came over to ask Francis if she'd go out with me tonight. She'll have a whale of an evening.
Or at least an evening with a whale.
Oh, let him alone, Bill. What sort of evening did you have in mind, Harry?
Well, Francis, I thought we'd go up to my apartment.
Yes?
Close all the doors and windows.
Yes?
Pull down the shades.
Yes?
Then turn the lights on.
Turn them on?
Well, sure. How else could you see my bird's eye frosted chop suey? That's why I'm going to take you to my apartment, Francis. We'll open a package together. We'll have some fun, huh?
Yes, what could be more fun for a boy and girl than opening a package of frosted food?
Well, it's one way of breaking the ice. But really, to get the better buy in frosted foods, you've got to be sure it's Bird's Eye, Francis. There are many brands of frosted foods, but only one Bird's Eye. Only Bird's Eye gives you Bird's Eye top quality and flavor. Honestly, you can't go wrong when you buy anything marked Bird's Eye.
Francis, do you want to spend an evening with this two-legged refrigerator?
Oh, quiet, percolator. You know, Francis, all Bird's Eye foods are grown, prepared, and quick frozen so carefully, so painstakingly that you always get perfect foods. So each time you buy frosted foods, make sure, in fact, insist, that each and every package you buy carries the Bird's Eye label. It just isn't Bird's Eye unless it's plainly marked Bird's Eye. So get the better buy in frosted foods. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Now, look, Francis, you'll have lots more fun if you go out with me. Of course, if you turn me down, I've got other irons in the fire.
He means he'll stay home and curl his hair.
Look, Fatso.
Fatso? Don't you call me Fatso, you walking finger wave.
Boys, stop that. No fighting, please.
No fighting. Now, come, Francis. You know it's a big kick for a girl to have two handsome men fighting over her.
Yes, I hope it happens to me sometime. Now, if you two weary wolves will pardon me, I have a song to rehearse. When you're ready, Mr. Dolan.
Should have known you were temptation. You smile, luring me on. My heart was gone. You were temptation. It would be thrilling if you were willing, if it can you were born to be kissed. I can't resist you are temptation, and I am yours. Here is my heart, take it and say we'll never part. I'm just a slave, only a slave to you. Temptation, I'm yours
Francis. Now gather around, everybody. We're ready to look over the script of our play. Here's your copy, Mr. Boyer. You're Raoul.
Thank you.
And here's yours, George. You're the Irish policeman.
Okay, it's about time we had a look at this masterpiece.
No, I haven't read it either. The girls just finished typing it. First, I want to look at my love scenes. Oh, here's a lovely one. Molly and... the Irish policeman. Well, here's another one. Molly... the Irishman again. Well, here's another one with the Irishman. And another one. And another one. Mr. Boyer.
Yes, Mrs. Burns?
There'll be a slight change in the casting of our play. You won't play Raoul after all.
No?
No, you're going to be an Irish policeman named Mike O'Hooligan.
Mike O'Hooligan?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure I'll be believable as Mr. O'Hooligan.
Oh, of course you would. You'll be a marvelous Irishman.
But I am French.
Well, what's the difference between France and Ireland? Less than 40 miles.
But Mrs. Burns, who will play the part of Raoul, the Frenchman?
My husband, George.
Oh, I am Irish and he is French.
That's right.
Machiavelli aussi. Dis-moi que tu finisseras le mieux.
Yeah, I beg your pardon?
Nothing. Just a little French nursery rhyme my mother taught me.
Oh, how sweet. Now, let's run through the first scene. It takes place in Paris, where Officer O'Hooligan, that's you, Mr. Boyer, has come to arrest Raoul, that's you, George. Places everybody. Set the scene, Raoul.
Paris in the spring. Ooh, ooh. Paris in the spring. Ooh, ooh.
Is that absolutely necessary?
Well, he's setting the scene. That's mood music.
Don't you think he moved a little too loud?
Never mind, the scene is set. Now, I speak first. Well, good morning, Officer O'Hooligan. Lovely day, isn't it? Well, go ahead, Mr. Boyer, read your line.
Must I?
Oh, of course. I'll give you the cue again. Lovely day, isn't it?
Faith, and that it is, Begorra. Mrs. Burns.
Oh, no, my name is Molly. Now, let's read on. Oh, officer, I've heard that this fiend, Raoul, has escaped from prison again. I fear he may do me harm.
Never, Colleen. Or me name and Mike O'Hooligan. Don't forget, he's a fine broth of a lad from the old Sodom after being.
Tell me now, Mike, me darling. What would you do if Raoul were to make advances to me?
Sure, it's easier. I'd set a ringing with a clot from the old shillelagh. Mrs. Burns, I'm not happy as this Irishman.
wonderful. You're the French Barry Fitzgerald.
Oh, but surely you can find someone more Irish than I am. How about Gregory Ratoff?
No, he wouldn't do it all. You know those Russians. He might walk right out in the middle of everything.
Just what I had in mind.
Now, come on back to the play. This is the exciting part. Oh, Mike, quick, look behind you. Who is that approaching?
It's Raoul Bijabers. Mrs. Burns, you know that's a strange name for a Frenchman. Raoul Bijabers.
Oh, no. Bijabers isn't his name. That's sort of an Irish swear word.
Oh. Well, Bijabers, I quit.
Oh, no, you can't quit now. This is your big scene with Raoul. Go ahead, George.
Sacre bleu. How is this that I find mon couteau in the arms of that gendarme?
Well, Mr. Boyd, the Frenchman spoke to you.
In what language, may I ask?
Mr. Boyd, read your line.
The back of me and to yours, Raoul. I'll have no more of your shenanigans.
Oh, this for you and that for you and that for your papa.
No, that's not the next line.
I know, but this next line I refuse to read.
Oh, Mr. Boyer, please. Give him the cue again, George.
This for you and that for you and this for your papa.
Raoul, I will murder yes entirely, as sure as me mother came from County Cork. Well, that's it. Goodbye.
Oh, no, wait. We're coming to the finish.
We've passed it.
Remember the tradition of the theater. The show must go on.
Not this one.
Look, I agree with Mr. Boyer, Gracie. The show should definitely not go on.
Why, Dinah Shore. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be home with laryngitis.
Well, I was, but when I heard your play, I just had to come down here and do something about it.
Oh, the call of the footlights, huh? The smell of the grease paint got you.
It wasn't the grease paint I smelled.
You didn't like the play?
Well, I think casting Charles Boyer as an Irish policeman is absolutely ridiculous. He's about as Irish as I am.
Thank you, Miss Shaw.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Dinah. There was a part I thought you might play, but it's a love scene with the Irish policeman.
Love scene?
Yes.
Well, faith now, Mr. O'Boy, it is a fine broth of an Irish the James.
Oh, you're cute, Dinah. Anyway, I'm glad we cured your laryngitis. Now, you'll be back on your program next week.
Oh, you bet I will, Gracie. And I want to thank Francis Langford for taking my place tonight. Thank you, Francie.
The pleasure was all mine, Dinah.
And we'll be hearing you on Bob Hope's Pepsodent show, Francie. Night now.
Charles Boyer will soon be seen in Ernst Lubitsch's Clooney Brown, a 20th Century Fox production. Join us again next Thursday for Maxwell House Coffee Time with George Burns, Gracie Allen, Meredith Wilson, and his orchestra, yours truly, Bill Goodwin. Until then, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, America's #1 brand of coffee.
Bird's Eye Open House will be back again next Thursday at its usual time, too, starring Dinah Shore. As good as new, huh, Dinah?
Absolutely, Harry.
Oh, swell. And our special guest will be Peter Lorre, along with Robert Emmett Dolan, his orchestra, Ken Lane and his singers, and me, too. Good night, everybody. You know, it's a funny thing about the new post-war irons. They're lighter, easier to handle, more convenient in every way, but...
But they don't do the ironing for me.
Sad but true. But I can tell you how you can make your starch clothes a lot easier to iron.
Well, let's have it.
Satina. Add a little Satina to your starch, and then, when time comes to iron, your iron will glide and zip along. There'll be no sticking or snagging with Satina. What's more, your starch clothes will have a satiny sheen that helps shed dirt and dust. So get the Satina habit. Satina's a great help on ironing day.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.